Hi, this is Devin Larrett, and you are watching Arm Sport Videos!
Since the beginning of time, we have competed in combat sports. One-on-one, mano-a-mano. Our overwhelming need to dominate, overcome, and defeat our opponent is all-consuming. Arm wrestling is more than just a competition, it's a way of life.
I started competing in the amateur tournaments in 2012 in Lawrencetown, Nova Scotia. Going into my first tournament was different. I was always good at kitchen table arm wrestling, so it was cool to get up to the table, and I ended up winning the right hand against Philip LePage, who's been a good friend since. We got 9 years, and he was the guy to beat that day at this tournament in Lawrencetown. So we come to the finals, and Philip was. I had to beat Phil for the gold medal, and ended up beating him. So then I was hooked.
One word to describe Phil Carty, the competitor, I would say he's fierce at the table.
His stamina.
Pitbull.
Torque.
Entertaining.
Intense. I've been competing professionally for 7 years. Yeah, I developed a club in Digby. It's Loaded Guns Arm Wrestling. It's just based on my lifestyle. It's a fisherman and a hunter, and my guns are always loaded. So
Phil's genuine guy, likable guy, and my best friend and husband.
yeah, I'd say probably in Sackville about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago now. Phil and Randy Bayers had a hell of a match, and that'll always be a memorable match for me. Phil wasn't victorious that day, but he showed some real intense pulling, and it was against a super high class puller who's beat some big names, and that to me meant a lot, really, just to know that the guy I get to train with every day is capable of going the distance with somebody like that.
And competition are two different beasts.
Very different things. Like you, I'm a huge Phil Carty fan. You know he's going to perform well. He's going to put on a great show.
Oh, and he's entertaining.
Always entertaining.
He's a great guy. He's a good buddy of mine, actually. We became good friends shortly after we arm wrestled for the first time.
Phil gives the same reaction every time he wins a big one. It doesn't matter if it's an Atlantic, it's a provincial, or if he's really just gunning for somebody he hasn't beat. He gets so excited, and he's pounding on the table, and he's almost jumping up and down. That's one of the great things about watching Phil win. He brings intensity. He brings a lot of power, because people are always going to know he's going to be in the mix no matter what class he's in. They know he's going to be one of the guys to beat. So he brings a lot of intensity to the table, gets people fired up. He gets fired up. He brings a lot.
Go ahead.
I'd have to say the time Phil Carty and I arm wrestled for the Battle Atlantic belt, that was one of the best times I had with Phil. I went 2-0, and then I almost pinned him the third time, and he held in there, and he come back, and he beat me 3 times in a row. What can I say, right?
Down to the wire, at this point, this is why I say Phil has the stamina. He still had all kinds of gas. Rob was out. So what happened? Third match, Phil wins in his hometown. The whole town goes crazy. It was awesome to watch. I was on the opposing end because Rob is my fiance, but it was I felt joy for him. We went back to his house later on. We had lobster and it was great. We partied and we had a great time.
One of my favorite Phil Carty matches, we were at the Atlantic Canadians in Amherst, Nova Scotia. I think Rick had rented the high school to host this event. And we're down to the finals, and I think Phil was facing Jody Harper from Prince Edward Island. He could not get around Jody's hand. So myself and Mark Kroos both took him aside, and we gave him a strategy to try and combat Jody's hand. And he was able to do it. He was able to come away with the Atlantic Canadian Championship title, and the excitement on him after that win was just unbelievable, and that's something I'll never ever forget.
I'd say it means to Phil, it gives him the opportunity to prove how strong he is and to compete. And it means everything. He has met so many great people. We've done more traveling than we've ever have since he started arm wrestling. And he's kept in touch with a lot of people that he's met. I would have to say excitement. He entertains, he gets the crowd going crazy. Just when you count him out, you just can't, because somehow he always seems to pull it off. Like you said, he holds practices. He has bring competitors to our club. He puts on this persona that he's this big bad boy, but really he's like this sensitive guy, you know?
Ready, go!
Intensity, he definitely brings intensity, but charisma too. Like, he can really be, foolish and have a good time. But when he gets to the table, he becomes an animal. Right? His ability to change like that.
It's going to be wrapped even. That's what it is. Who's cranking? Ready, go!
Hey, joined here at the table with Battlezone right arm heavyweight champion, Mr. Phil Carty from the Loaded Guns out of Digby, Nova Scotia. How you doing today, Phil?
Doing good, Perry. How about yourself?
Not too bad. You're a little disappointed that heavyweights got canceled?
Well, I don't know if I'm disappointed. I like pulling up, so it gives me an opportunity to compete against the bigger guys, which I've arm wrestled them quite a bit, but in an event like this, it's going to be fun to see where I stand right now. So,
yeah, for sure.
I may have to, where I'm up into the super heavyweights. It's something new to me too. I didn't go into the last event planning on hitting, but it was just, I was a little nervous of myself with this size, and being left hand, I had detached my bicep there a few years back, so I didn't need myself hanging out on it too long. So it was one of them, let's get it done type of deals. So today, I don't know. I like slow pulling too. You've seen that many times.
Yeah. I've never seen that. I think you shocked the world there last tour. I think anybody ever seen you hit before that.
No, it's just something. I've never really practiced hits, or normally I'm letting at practice. I'm letting people take me out to the pin line and hold them there. But I was sort of shocked too that I was able to, do that.
Not at all. So here's no
Match number two. Yeah.
No, looks like Phil's getting ready to smash through again. Like I said, this is a Phil Carty we haven't seen before, hitting like that.
But that makes him even more dangerous.
Yeah.
The fact that he's developing a hit.
Phil would be, for the old timers out there, a Tony Singer type puller. He used to be. He'd catch you about 2 inches above the pin pad
and just sit there and hold you and reel you in. But here he's hitting, and man, he's looking good with these hits.
That's a great hit.
Yeah.
Especially for someone that we're not expecting him to hit.
No, you're right. And Measles even asked me, he says, how's Phil pull? I said, Phil's a catcher. He says, oh yeah, so am I. I said, well, that might be kind of a boring match. Well, you guys wait for one another to hit.
Well, what we've seen here is Phil's not waiting for
Phil's
anything.
not waiting for nothing.
Arm wrestling to me has become one of the biggest parts of my life besides going fishing. All right, I fish and I arm wrestle, so it's became like top priority for me. And we practice all the time, but with COVID, we haven't had many good opportunities to compete. So I don't even know where I'll be at, but I'm excited. I'm 47 now. I suspect that I can compete till my arms give out, and I still feel good, and older is better. In Atlantic, Canada, I look forward to competing against Mark McPhail. Would be one of my favorites to pole. We're similar size. Our styles are similar. So it's always an interesting match with Mark. So he would be my go-to Atlantic, Canada. Across Canada, who has been the favorite, or who I want to pull with the most, would be I really like pulling Fraser Benoit, and Kane Hemsing is another one. We've had good matches, and them guys are good sportsmen. So after I won my first national title, I felt like I was the best in my class, and it turned out I did it 8 more times. So the next nationals, I'll probably be pulling the senior division instead of masters, which I normally do pull. So I'm going to go and just either choose one or the other. So at all the nationals that I've attended, I've pulled the masters class, I believe, on a Saturday, and then the Sunday we would pull the senior class. And although I did half decent in the senior class, you can think pulling guys over 40 years old is a walk in the park, but I'll tell you something. You're busted up the next day. You're busted up. So I don't know. It's at 198 pounds, I think fresh that I could compete and probably be on the podium somewhere at 198 pounds.